pilot lights. Hopefully a short video about pilot lights. I wanted to do this for a little while, and I was hoping to put some more information together, and that wasn't forthcoming, so I'm just going to go with what I got. This is a gas stove. It is an older gas stove, as provided by the landlord in a apartment-sized rental unit. There's stoves like this all over the country. These have pilot lights. It's a small flame. It's a very small perpetual flame going on under here for the purpose of lighting the burners. There's 3 of them. 1, 2, and then there's a third in the stove. What I have is a crayon. See, it says crayon. I've got a little razor blade and this little tray that I made. Some stoves have pilot lights, some don't. Most actually do. An older stove, how you know if you've got a pilot light or not is if you put your finger here. The pilot light's going to be between these 2 burners, here and here, and you can see the flame usually in the oven. If you put your finger here and it's hot or you burn yourself, you probably have a pilot light. If you turn the gas on and you hear this noise, you've got a pilotless ignition on your stove, and that means you don't have a pilot light. The pilotless ignition does not have a pilot light, obviously, because it's pilotless, and it's got a little clicker that lights it, so you're not using that gas. This one, you have 3 perpetual flames, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, that you're paying for and you're burning. So I just figured that rather, I thought about putting all kinds of funny little facts together, and they just weren't working out. So I thought that what I would do instead is we're just going to zoom you in here. So I've taken the wrapping off this crayon. Let's have a little more pan. Here we go. And we'll watch as the crayon melts. This, you're paying to melt the crayon. So what I do have is a gas stove with 3 pilot lights. This video is not about turning off your pilot light, because everybody's stove is going to be different. I've seen stoves that are specifically set up to operate without a pilot light, and some that aren't very easy. On a regular basis, the 2 pilot lights on the stove I've turned off, and the oven is a bit more of a pain in the ass, so I've just left that one on. What I don't have, which is more than what I do, is a solid estimate of how much pilot lights cost you. I've been running without pilot lights for a long time, and it seems to be about $5 a month. I'm going to guess like maybe $5 to $7 a month for a pilot light. So if you run that over the course of a year, that's going to be $60 in perpetual flamery that one really doesn't need. So I don't have a solid estimate of costs. I could have put one together, didn't do it. I don't have an estimate of the actual gas volume, which would have helped out a lot with the costs. I don't have a solid estimate of how many pilot lights there are in the United States. There are, however, easily over 100,000 households in the U.S. We can assume most of them, if not all of them, essentially have a stove. That stove may be electric, it may be gas, it may have a pilot light, it may not. So let's just say that of the 100,000 households, 20% of them have a stove with pilot lights on them. That's going to be 60,000 little tiny perpetual flames all over the United States. I have, here again, no idea with what the volume is. If I had a volume, I could have put that in context of, how much a gas turbine uses and how much energy that would have done something else rather than be a sad little perpetual flame under your oven. Yeah, that thing's moving right along. We'll turn the light on. There we go. So I'm going to actually pan us out for a little bit. So my finding was that this has been reliably about $5 a month for the pilot lights on the stove. This is generating heat, and if you're heating this space, the monetary loss is not such a big deal, as it's actually an open flame is pretty efficient heating. However, if you're air conditioning this space, that's just money wasted. This is an apartment. I don't pay for heat, so this is just a 100% big loser. This is a BBQ lighter. I think I don't know if I might have paid $1 or $2 for this. In an irony of capitalism, the cheaper lighters are refillable. The non-refillable ones are actually more expensive. So, moral story is, if you can find one of these for $2, you should probably get it. This, pretty simple. These ones, this one has been turned off. I turned this one on just to melt the crayon. It's, pretty simple. $5 a month. Yeah. And there's the crayon. And we're going to, let's see, well, here again, I just turned this on just to, just to show you. This is, what you're paying for is wasted heat. Turn on a pilot light. Of all of the environmental issues that, all the little environmental, get a compact fluorescent bulb or whatever kind of stuff, I have no idea why there's not more movement towards pilot lights. That's a lot of gas going on in the US. So what I'm going to do is take the lid off. This is very creepy. If you have a stove and you've never looked under here, perhaps you should do so. Perhaps you should avoid doing so immediately after eating, as sometimes these get pretty spooky. This one's not bad. What you're looking at actually, which looks like all kinds of, what a bunch of marvelous colors. That's all rust. This is just an old stove. So this is a small screwdriver. This is where the pilot light is. Directly underneath there is a little tiny screw. And then we're just going to tighten that in. The flame on this is so small that you actually can't see it on video. This is what I'm doing. I don't suggest you do anything, because we're all a bunch of idiots and shouldn't play with fire. Whatever. So you want to tighten that down. Well, excuse me. What I'm doing, regardless of what you'd like to do, is I want to tighten that down to see if there's no gas coming out of it. and keep lighting it. Crap. Well, I managed to go 10 minutes on pilot lights. Incredible. Alright, so the pilot light's off. And that's that. I'm saving $5. I'm probably saving $5 a month on a worthless pilot light. That's coming down to about $70 a year. Maybe more, maybe less, depending on where you're at. Okay, good day.